morning and welcome to this exciting live stream from Gentex Multimedia, streaming live to your device from beautiful Brisbane, out from down under Australia. Well, from wherever you are tuned in from the world, welcome to our show. And today is Friday the 13th. Hey, it is Black Friday as they call it. So, why do they call it Black Friday? That's not the matter, but today also happens to be Dhanteras, which is a very auspicious day in the Hindu calendar. But not only the Hindu calendar, it is something which is very significant to everyone, regardless of what religion or what culture you are from. Dhanteras means that it is a day when people pay attention to the significance of abundance. Now, the abundance means that always having enough in your life and not having to scrape for things, not scraping the bottom, as they always say. So Dhanteras signifies that on this day everyone remembers or pays or takes some action which reflects that. So, regardless of which religion, customs or what you follow, this is applicable in everyone's life. So, that if you get the good old Australian or the English saying that a sandwich sort of a picnic, meaning that you don't have enough. So when you don't have enough, there's many things you can't do. So it's not enough only money. There's many other things which are related to that, related to Dhanteras. And of course, on this day, Hindus do pray, and there's many legends which are associated with it. But the main thing is today, it is where, it signifies abundance and overcoming of shortage, so that you don't have shortage, that may your jar be full. It should not be empty, that wherever you reach out for something, you pull out that drawer, there's something in there. So, many times people say, all right, what is in Hindi, they say Daridra. So, Daridra and Garibita, they're two different things. So, it doesn't mean that if you are a Darid that you can also be poor. Some poor people are very happy. They have got what they need and things happen. Daridra meaning, not having enough is a pain. It is a pain which is felt even by very rich people. Meaning, a very rich person may be able to buy a very expensive car. He sits in the car, he drives halfway through, he's away miles away from a petrol station, and then he discovers there's no petrol in the car, or he's about to run out of petrol. That's the reason, not having right thing at the right time. So it does not mean that if you are only poor, that you are Darid. Darid means, some people who always have the tendency that there is always a shortfall in their life. So today is all about overcoming that, doing something in life, and that is why traditionally people invest on a day like this. The tradition is investing in either property, but in India they go crazy about investing in gold and other things. So that's Dhanteras. Regarding religious significance aside, the main thing there is that it is about abundance, that you are always blessed with abundance, that you don't run short of anything that you need in life. Be it power, if you're trying to do something, if you don't have the power, you're trying to lift something, you can't do it. Abundance of knowledge, that you will never run short. You're trying to do some things, and if you can't think properly, then you will not be able to fulfill that task. So these are many kinds of things which are associated with Dhanteras. So that's a day today is when everyone pays significance, or the importance of the day today is that in your life may there be abundance of things and you never fall short of things. With that, we also coming up to the weekend, and we have a wonderful show lined up for you tomorrow as well. But first of all, let's take a very quick look at what's in store for us weather-wise. With that, let's welcome Dilraj.
Good morning everyone. Weather forecast for the rest of today is maximum 29 degree. Brisbane area is partly cloudy with medium chance of showers most likely this afternoon and evening. There is a chance of thunderstorm during this afternoon and evening. Winds northerly 25 to 35 km per hour. Fire danger is high. Sun protection is recommended till 20 past 3 and UV index is predicted to reach 11, that is extreme. Tomorrow minimum will be 19 and maximum will be 32. Brisbane area will be mostly sunny with 10% chance of rain. Winds north to northwesterly 15 to 20 km per hour, becoming light in the middle of the day, then becoming north to northeasterly 15 to 25 km in the early afternoon. Sun protection is recommended till 20 past 3 and UV index is predicted to reach 11, that is extreme. And on Sunday, minimum will be 21 and maximum will be 31. Again, Brisbane area will be mostly sunny, winds northerly 15 to 20 km per hour, becoming light during the morning, then becoming easterly 15 to 25 km during the day. Sun protection again is recommended till 20 past 3 and UV index is predicted to reach 11, that is extreme. Till tomorrow, stay safe and enjoy a lovely weekend.
Thank you very much, Dilraj. And as we know, this weekend is the Diwali weekend, and of course we have begun well and truly, and there's so much that's going to happen. So tomorrow what's going to happen is we will have this segment presented in Hindi because of many of the traditional things which is very hard to present in other languages, but we will bring messages from many different languages and many different cultures who will be presenting their messages on the show. So it will the program will be the Deepavali Shubh Sandens, meaning well wishes on Deepavali, and many of our customers, clients, and our advertisers will be sending their messages live here as well. If you too would like to have your message included, today is the day. You'll need to send that in today. Do send us a message via the Facebook Messenger or email us, and then we'll give you the directions on how to send your message, which we can include. And of course, there will be some live singing, and we did a test run yesterday, which went very well. Chandan Das ji and other singers will be presenting live entertainment from this studio. That's something new that we're going to try, and I think it will be wonderful to have everyone's company, everyone have a bit of fun and enjoyment for Deepavali, and right here from the studios. Of course, we will give you the religious significance as well. So right now, let's take a look at some of the legends behind Dhanteras. So as I mentioned before, that there's many of these festivals, like be it Christmas, be it Diwali, religiously or traditionally, and in this true sense, is always observed by the followers of those faith, but it does not expel others from taking part in the celebrations. They might not do it in the religious way. That is all okay, but observing the day is of course there. People are mindful that this is the day. Of course, tomorrow with Deepavali is also Bandi Chhod, so we know about that as well. So there's many other legends, many other stories related with these festivities, and we need to encompass and celebrate with everyone. Leaving aside any differences that there may be, and all coming together in a joyous manner, and trying to find out about other people's and their beliefs as well, with an open eye as well, and not with some preconceived ideas that we are better and they are not good. So always good, because Deepavali is the victory of good over evil. But today, as I said, is Dhanteras, which is the day when the importance of abundance in your life is expressed.
Diwali is almost here, and the houses are being decorated with lights and earthen lamps. Diwali is a 5-day feast which starts with Dhanteras, the festival of wealth. In this video, we are going to know the history and significance of Dhanteras, which is known as the Dhanatrayodashi. Dhanteras is one of the most important festivals in India. It is a significant part of the Diwali celebrations. It is the first day of the 5-day celebration of the Diwali festival. This promising day is also observed as Dhanvantri Jayanti, the birth anniversary of the god of Ayurveda. The word Dhana means money or wealth, and Teras indicates the 13th day as per the Hindu calendar. The festival of Dhanteras falls in the Hindu calendar month of Kartik, usually between October to November, on the 13th lunar day of Krishna Paksha or dark fortnight. Dhanteras is observed 2 days before the festival of lights, Diwali. Every festival in India has its own significant story or history behind it. These stories are the key factors for all the celebrations that are performed on these festival days. Some stories are also associated with the celebration of Dhanteras. As per the Hindu holy scriptures, during the cosmic battle known as the Samudra Manthan, gods and demons both stirred the ocean, known as Shirasagar, to gain the divine nectar of immortality. On that time, god Dhanvantari emerged out of the water with a pot of potion. Thus the name of the day Dhanteras comes from the name Dhanvantari, who is regarded as the physician of the gods. Another ancient story also describes the event to an interesting story about a 16-year-old son of King Hima, whose horoscope prophesied his early death by snakebite on the 4th day of his wedding. After knowing this fact, his wife got worried but reacted wisely. To save her husband's life, she proposed a plan. She laid out all her ornaments and lots of gold and silver coins in a pile at the door and lit lanterns all over the place. She began narrating stories and started singing a song to keep her husband from falling asleep. When Yama, regarded as the god of death, came in the guise of a snake to take his life, he was momentarily blinded by the sharp lights of lamps and ornaments. He was not able to enter the room till morning. Thus the prince was saved from the clutches of death by the intelligence of his wife, and since then, this day is celebrated in the honor of god Yama as Dhanteras or Yamadipdan. Dhanteras is correlated with wealth and prosperity. On this day, people buy precious metals such as gold and silver ornaments and appliances to improve household prosperity. The day also holds special importance for the business community. All the new purchases are committed to goddess Lakshmi and Lord Kubera. Markets and malls.
So there's a bit of a history there and the legend behind Diwali and of course of Dhanteras as well. Today being Dhanteras, and of course when we celebrate our celebrations, we have to always calculate the time difference between here and India, to work out the correct muhurat and tithi, etc. For the pujas. But nevertheless, it's a thought and the spirit that really counts when when we do these things. So it is wonderful to see and hear about Dhanteras. As I mentioned before, the main significance is today is the importance of abundance in your life, that you never fall short, as the Australian saying is, you never short of a sandwich for a picnic, and you never scraping the bottom. And the importance of that is signified on a day today. Well, right now, let's get a message from our High Commissioner, especially on this occasion and exclusively for Brisbane Indian Times and Australian Indian Radio.
Namaskar. I am indeed very happy to know that Brisbane Indian Times and Australian Indian Radio, one of the more popular media entities in Brisbane, have been serving the Australia-India community of Queensland since 2004. These are difficult times, and the media has an important role in bringing the community together and keeping its morale high. I am sure Brisbane Indian Times and Australian Indian Radio will continue to work towards promoting the well-being of the Australia-India community and strengthening ties between our two countries. I wish Brisbane India Times and Australian Indian Radio and all its subscribers a very happy Diwali. Dhanyavad, thank you.
And Dhanabad, and thank you very much, His Excellency High Commissioner Ji. It's wonderful to get that message. But right now, a message from our Prime Minister.
Namaste. Happy Diwali, everyone. This is a special time for the many Hindus, Sikhs, Jains and Buddhists who call Australia home, and for the hundreds of millions of more all around the world. At the time of the new moon, on the darkest day of the month, Diwali carries a powerful message of light dispelling darkness. Most years, we often think of this as something theoretical, a concept, rather than something that is lived or experienced. But this year, Diwali's message has a special significance as we respond to COVID-19. We're looking for that light amongst what has been a very dark year. This year, all of us have had to face the most dramatic shock in generations. Lives have sadly been lost, dreams have been shattered, livelihoods destroyed, education disrupted, darkness descending in too many places. But this Diwali, I say we have many reasons to hope here in Australia.
So, as the Prime Minister mentioned, there is many reasons for hope, and his full message will be played tomorrow. As we know, tomorrow with that Deepavali Shubh Sandesh program, you too can have your message. All we need to do is just contact us in our office. You still got time to send the message in today, and we will include in tomorrow's show. So tomorrow, so once again between 10 and 11, because in the morning and in the night people will be doing their own prayer. So that is the time when you can have your Shubh Sandesh, sent out to all the viewers and listeners on this program. So we still got time, and there will be lots of entertainment, live singing from here, and it will be a very good program to have the Deepavali Shubh Sandesh 2020 live broadcast from Chentex Multimedia, which is Brisbane Indian Times and Australian Indian Radio. Well, right now let's get into the news for today. But first up, let's take a very quick look at the news in brief. So the top stories for today, courtesy of ABC.
Also on iView, these are the top stories we're covering today. National Cabinet is meeting to finalise a framework to reopen domestic borders by Christmas. State and territory leaders and the Prime Minister will discuss a process for rolling out a potential COVID-19 vaccine. The federal government's also expected to provide its formal response to the Royal Commission into National Disasters. Victoria has recorded a 14th consecutive day of no new coronavirus cases. In fact, it's a 000 day. The statewide 14-day average is now also 0. There are 3 active infections. One has an unknown source. The United States has set another COVID-19 record with 143,000 infections reported in a day. 65,000 people are in hospital with the disease, a figure that's doubled in about a month. An advisor to President-elect Joe Biden is making the case for another 4 to 6 week lockdown to try to control the virus. And the Bureau of Meteorology and the CSIRO have issued a sobering warning that the country is increasingly at risk of severe weather events caused by climate change. The CSIRO's Climate Science Centre says in 10 to 20 years the record heat experienced last year will not be considered unusual.
So there's the top stories for today. Well, right now we will go to that press conference which we had yesterday with the Prime Minister, where he's got some very important announcements that he made, and then we'll come to our Premier.
Good afternoon, everyone. There's a number of things I'd like to get through this morning, and in particular the reason that the Defence Minister joins me here today to deal with the receipt of the IGADF report. But before I do that, I can let you know that I had a very warm call with President-elect Biden this morning, and we both made very clear our strong commitment to strengthening our alliance, which will celebrate 70 years next year. This is a relationship that he understands very deeply based on his broad experience over a long period of time in the United States, and he's engaged in, of course, as Vice President and his many other roles. And I was also had the opportunity to personally extend that invitation for him and Dr. Biden to join us next year as part of the celebration of those the 70th anniversary of the ANZUS relationship. Something we both reflected upon was first entered into by a Liberal Prime Minister and a Democratic President. So this is a relationship, as I said on the weekend, that has been stewarded by many Prime Ministers, by many Presidents, from many perspectives. But what has also always remained very clear and very true, and was evidenced in the discussion we had today, that it is one that is bigger than both of us and important to all of us, not just here in Australia and in the United States, but in our own region and more broadly around the rest of the world, and we understand those responsibilities. We agreed that there was no more critical time for both this alliance between ourselves and the United States, but more broadly the working together, especially of like-minded countries and the values that we hold and share, working together to promote peace and stability, of course in the Indo-Pacific region, and more broadly through the many multilateral institutions and agencies that exist, whether they be on trade, the United Nations or others. The Quad, the G7, the OECD, the G20, these also very important in the forums that we work together within the United States and of course here in Australia. Of course we respect the transition process that is underway, at least informally. When that formally commences, that's of course a matter for the US administration, and we will continue to work closely with the US administration respecting those protocols in the months ahead, because there remain many issues on hand.
So as he mentioned that the protocol there lies with the US and the US government on the official day of the takeover, but he has already had good conversation with President-elect Joe Biden. Well, right now coming to Queensland, and let's hear from our Premier as he announces the installation of the new cabinet.
It's a great honour today to have the ministry sworn in. We've got a big job ahead of us. The people of this state put their trust in us. We will continue to manage the health crisis, but of course, as I said the other day, I want all hands on deck as well when it comes to the COVID recovery. I believe that I have put the best people forward for these jobs, especially in the ministry and the assistant ministry. A big focus as well on regional Queensland. We know how important regional Queensland is, and also to some of the sectors that need additional help with the COVID recovery, including small business and of course tourism.
And as he mentioned about all the ministers, and of course yesterday we had introduced the whole ministry, the new cabinet to you, and I think as he has mentioned, they have been chosen well, and they all fit the roles that they have been given, and I think we can look forward to a very, very, very constructive and productive cabinet moving forward. Well, right now let's go to Victoria, as we know that all eyes are in Victoria. Again, they have done quite well, but Premier Daniel Andrews is here announcing some of the fundings into the future research.
I'm so pleased to be here to announce with Jala that in the forthcoming state budget there will be $155 million from the Victorian Government to establish the Australian Institute of Infectious Disease. This will be the biggest of its kind anywhere in our region. It will be a national centre. The funding breakdown is a further $150 million from all of the partners, and some of them will speak very soon. And then I've already started having very important discussions with the Commonwealth Government for a further $250 million from the Commonwealth Government. Our $155 million commitment is $5 million to complete the business case in full detail, which would be done by the middle of next year. Construction could then be started before 22 and completion around 2025. This is exactly the right thing to do at this time. This has been a 1 in 100 year event, but novel viruses and global pandemics is one part of infectious disease. Who knows, there may be more pandemics of that nature in the years to come, but there are many other infectious diseases that the cost of which in terms of lives, the cost of which in terms of suffering and hardship, together with the economic cost, this is some of the most important work, and arguably it has never been more important than it is right.
Yes, it has never been more important than right now, as he has rightfully mentioned, but we have seen so much that's been going into the research. Queensland government has put quite a lot of money and that research that's been done through UQ, and that's worldwide. If you look at scientists working around the clock, everyone trying to find that vaccine, but it is a good move, and as he mentioned, the right thing to do at this time. Well, what's happening in the Parliament House itself? So what's the right thing to do there, and the culture that exists behind closed doors? So let's look at the culture in the Parliament. The Federal Parliament has risen once again, and of course there has been lots of things that have been said, and of course that coverage by Four Corners has shared a lot of things. So let's hear this report.
David Crowe, how has the Four Corners story evolved through the week?
Well, it started a huge debate about the power of ministers, the treatment of their staff, whether we've got bullying and harassment happening within ministerial offices, and what's the ability of a staff member to then seek redress through that system. What we've also seen is it's moved from the claims that aired on Four Corners on Monday night to some very specific complaints from one of those women, Rochelle Miller, who had an affair with Alan Tudge. She's lodged complaints against Alan Tudge, also against Michaelia Cash about the treatment she received in their offices. So that then sets up some investigations or evaluations that are going to run for some time. So it's really not a situation anymore where, as Scott Morrison said, these events happened a few years ago and there's nothing for him to do. We're going to see that these investigations do lead somewhere, I think.
Well, reducing emissions has been the other big issue in Parliament this week. Joel Fitzgibbon leaving the Labor front bench has opened up the split in the party. Is that going to be resolved any time soon, and what implications does that have for Anthony Albanese?
No, I think it's going to get worse, actually. I think what we've seen this week does undermine Anthony Albanese's authority. They're all at each other's throats. Joel Fitzgibbon is in earnest about changing the policy on climate change. Even though he supports net zero by 2050, there's going to be a huge barney about whether they go for an interim target of 2035 and how ambitious that target can be. Does that set them up as a target for the government at the next election? It's a huge question for them.
Well, the Prime Minister...
It is a huge wrecking force, and, it's something which will be very hard to gauge and follow through. But anyway, that's how things have turned out. Right now, the next news that I have for you is, right now, there's so many different cases, so many changes that have been proposed for the immigration and DFED, and the ministries have been working together on that. Here's a case where there's a family from Sri Lanka living legally in regional New South Wales, and then comes into the story their father, who is a skilled migrant and, of course, on a worker's visa, but he passed away. He dies of cancer. Now, that family is facing deportation. Here's that story.
So what do you guys have today?
It's a typical start to the school day in the Uduwatta household at Kempsey.
Yeah, I'm really proud of them because all loves them.
Starting school was really different because I could hardly understand anyone, but I grew into it and be like best friends with everyone pretty much now.
If I had to sum them up with one word, I would say love. They just love people and people just love them.
Bye.
17-year-old Ravish plays basketball and cricket, and he leads a church youth group. He wants to study medicine, and he's just been elected vice-captain of his school.
I think teachers like me because when I first came to school, I was pretty much the only one that said thank you in the end of the lesson.
And did other students tease you for doing that at all?
Well, they didn't really tease me, but like they actually joined me and started saying thank you to the teachers and respecting them.
The family's become devoted to the local Christian outreach church. Florence Uduwatta spends much of her time volunteering.
Hi, Laurie.
Today she's packing and delivering food bags for the homeless.
For you.
Thank you very much, much appreciated.
The past few years haven't been easy for Florence Uduwatta and her family though. Her husband Raj arrived in Australia on a 457 working visa in 2014. He got a job as a mechanic in Kempsey, and 2 years later Florence and the children were allowed to join him as his dependents.
Like if someone had broken down, he would drive out there, he would help them, he'd get the car organised. And that rumble went through town because they knew that they could trust him.
In 2018, Raj Uduwatta was diagnosed with bowel cancer. By May this year, it had spread to his lungs, liver and kidney. In September, the family celebrated his 50th birthday. A day later, he died.
Before he goes with the nurse, he hugged me and hugged kids, and it's really hard for us to see that because I didn't think even that he's not coming again.
He was a great man. He was absolutely amazing in many ways, and yeah, he was always there for me. I feel like I have a lot of pressure as the eldest son because I'm now the head of the family and I have to take care of my mum and my siblings.
In the months leading up to his death, Raj Uduwatta was too sick to work. That meant he wasn't complying with the conditions of his temporary work visa. Florence Uduwatta was caring for him full-time, and fearing deportation, she applied for protection visas for their family. Soon after Raj's death, the Department of Immigration notified her that those applications had been knocked back and that she and her children had 1 month to appeal or leave the country.
I'm shocked and I can't understand what is happening for us.
Going back to Sri Lanka and thinking that it would ruin my goals and of becoming a doctor and my future pretty much.
Florence Uduwatta has been cleaning houses to scrape together some money. She's worried that returning to Sri Lanka would mean she couldn't support her children.
As a mother, I have to be strong. I can't show my tears for my children because they are also going down when I'm crying and stay like that. So I want to be strong and tough.
You are not seeing the grief that is happening on the inside. You're not seeing the heart palpitations.
So we really hope that some good comes out of the case that they have put forward and as per the rules that they were not compliant because the rules was that he be actively working, and if something like this happens, or it might be some loophole in the whole way in the rules which probably needs to be re-looked at. Well, right now the last news for this segment, we go to Pakistan. As we know that Europe and America and Pakistan, the cases of COVID-19 have been surging. There's been large numbers in that area, while on the other hand, India has claimed to be on the path of recovery. Well, the numbers may be quite high in India. It's just because of the population itself, but the calculations that they do based on the number of people, the number of recovery, and the way they're moving forward. So they are pretty confident that the way they are controlling the situation, given just the sheer number, the number of people in that country. So let's look at this report before we go on to the other segment where we will have a sneak preview of what's coming tomorrow.
Lahore, Pakistan's second largest city. The people here enjoyed the charms of this cosmopolitan hub for months after the country smashed the first wave of coronavirus.
Very unfortunate. I don't know if we'll be able to save the patient or not.
This is Dr. Amara Khalid.
It's almost 12 a.m. We have 5 beds in the emergency, but right now there are around 9 patients.
When the pandemic struck, Dr. Khalid was deployed to the intensive care unit at Mayo Hospital. She documented what she saw on her mobile phone.
I don't even want to imagine what some people are going through right now. So many people are dying.
We were in a state of disbelief when the cases suddenly started rising. It didn't feel real. Even now, when I think about it.
The city of Lahore had been able to keep a lid on cases in the early days of the pandemic. But when families came together to celebrate the religious festival Eid in May, the numbers exploded.
We were not able to find goggles, so I just took the goggles of the doctor who was leaving.
Resources at the hospital were stretched.
It was very difficult to decide which patient should be given more care and which patient can be ignored, because honestly we were extremely short of doctors and resources.
In the middle of her stint, the pandemic hit home.
I have a ward duty today, but I can't can't find the strength to go. I don't know why. My husband, Dr. Bilal, contracted COVID-19. The test came out positive yesterday. I don't want to be positive for this virus right now. It's scary. It's really scary.
Dr. Khalid had to keep working while awaiting results. Luckily, she tested negative.
My parents and my siblings and my husband, everybody contracted COVID-19 in the same month, and that time wasn't easy. COVID-19, it's not an easy disease to have. All of these beds were full, and now
that report there from Lahore, and as we know that it is very hard and when people get together in mass gatherings, as we have seen, that they had it under control quite well when it came out, but then when the mass gatherings started happening, that's when the spread started happening there as well. Well, right now, as we know, it's Diwali, one more day to go, and if you are still looking for some ideas of what to get, here's some ideas and some tips courtesy of Woolworths, the fresh food people who have put together some gift ideas as explained by our marketing manager, Dr. Charita Deshpande.
Namaste everyone. Welcome to this exciting updates from Brisbane Indian Times and Australian Indian Radio. We are really excited to our upcoming Diwali edition, which is due to be published on 14th of November 2020 on the actual Diwali day. So here we are presenting a gift idea from Woolworths. So Woolworths has presented us with a gift box as a token of love and appreciation. So thank you Woolworths for this. So we would like to present this as a gift idea which you can use for your friends and families this Diwali. So let's see what's in the box. So first we have a card which says wishing you a very happy Diwali from Woolworths. And then our festival day starts with a cup of tea. So we have Red Label tea powder, which is very popular. And then we have savory foods like Haldiram's Chatpata Dal, and then Haldiram's Bhujia Sev, which are like savory and very popular brands as well. And then we have another bhujia packet here which says Ancient Grain Twist. We also have some sweet things like premium cookies, and then this comes in the sweet one. We also have Bicano premium jeera cookies, and then we have the very popular Good Day biscuits as well in this packet. And no festival is complete, especially the Diwali, without the besan laddu. So we have Bicano besan laddus as well. What an amazing pack it is. And then we have Little Hearts, which is very popular back in India among the children as well. And then we have all-in-one Haldiram packet as well. So we also have samosas, we have khatta meetha packet, and then we have few decoration items which you can use during the puja or to decorate your house during Diwali. And no festival is complete without firecrackers. So we have some sparkles as well, and then children will really enjoy using these sparkles. So this is a gift idea by Woolworths, and then you can use it, you can gift it to your family and friends this Diwali. So we'll be coming up again with many more updates. Till then, stay safe and stay tuned on this segment. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Dr. Charita there. And of course, as being our marketing manager, I think they're out today, visiting a lot of our advertisers and also bringing their messages, which will be included in tomorrow's program. A sneak preview of tomorrow's program. We'll have great talents based right here in Brisbane. He is one, and this is a sneak preview of what we did in the studios right here yesterday. So there'll be lots more of this happening tomorrow. With that, let's welcome Chandan Das.
सरगम धड़कन की बीना सपनों की गीतांजलि तू मन की गली में महके जो हरदम ऐसी जूही की गली तू छोटा सफर हो लंबा सफर हो सोनी डगर हो या मेला या तू आए मन हो जाए भीड़ के बीच अकेला हाँ बादल बिजली चंदन पानी जैसा अपना प्यार लेना होगा जन्म हमें कई बार हाँ इतना मधुर तेरा मेरा प्यार लेना होगा जन्म हमें कई बार हो पश्चिम उत्तर हो दक्षिण तो हर जगह मुस्कुराए जितना ही जाऊं मैं दूर तुझसे उतनी ही तू पास आए आंधी ने रोका पानी ने टोका दुनिया ने हंसकर पुकारा तस्वीर तेरी लेकिन लिए मैं घर आया सबसे किनारा हाँ बादल बिजली चंदन पानी जैसा अपना प्यार लेना होगा जन्म हमें कई बार हाँ इतना मधुर तेरा मेरा प्यार लेना होगा जन्म हमें कई बार कई बार हाँ कई बार हाँ कई बार
So there you are, wonderful, what a voice, and we had so much fun, working out some of the ways how we can do the program for tomorrow, and don't forget that tune in from 10 till 11 tomorrow for wonderful, lots more of those kind of singing coming in. There's lots of local artists who have said that they would be taking part in the live singing for tomorrow, on the occasion of Deepavali. This is something which we came up very quickly, so from next year we can make it really a bit bigger. Some of the experiments that we have tried out here in the studios looks like lots of fun. I'm really very excited about that, and of course we'll have lots of key messages from the community and many people coming in and joining in on the show. So ladies and gentlemen, before we leave the show for today, a very quick look at one of our sponsors for the event, which is GlobeNet Realty, and then we'll look at some of the events and functions taking place.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Washa Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetrealty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for you in this segment. It's been wonderful having your company as usual. And don't forget that tomorrow's very special program on Deepavali, Diwali Shubh Sandesh from Brisbane Indian Times and Australian Indian Radio. And of course, key messages from the Prime Minister, from our High Commissioner, from the Premier, all the messages coming in. And if you too would like to have your message included, you still got time. All you need to do is record a clip and send it to us, and we will include in the program tomorrow. Of course, those live singing with the likes of Chandan Das ji, of course, Sargam Music members will be joining in as well. So there's been a lot of the full lineup we will post on our Facebook very soon, who's joining us tomorrow, but it will be a very good program. So do join in from 10 to 11 on a very special broadcast of the Diwali Shubh Sandesh for 2020. Hey, it's been wonderful having your company as usual. It's so good to see you, and I hope you have enjoyed this segment. Of course, we do appreciate all the feedback and the comments that we get, and that's how we will improve. It is your show, so we would like to present what you'd like to see on the show, and we will adapt accordingly, based upon all the feedback that we get from you. So right now is goodbye. Enjoy the rest of the day, but most importantly, do stay safe. Thank you.